28 years later, the sequel to 28 weeks later, which is a sequel to 28 days later, which is not even anything like the other two movies. This movie is its own thing.
Danny Boyle kind of went like,
Let's tell a mother-son adventure coming-of-age story with infected zombies in the background.
No, it's a rage virus.
it's a rage
They're
virus.
still
That's right.
they call them zombies in the movie.
No,
in the movie,
no.
they refer to them as zombies too.
No, the Swedish guy says there's
Same thing.
zombies,
Mm.
But it's in the movie, right?
but he's not from there.
Yeah, but it's in the
he
movie.
don't know.
right?
He's Swedish.
You don't
Yeah.
know.
All he knows is
Stupid
chocolate.
Eric.
He's supposed to be neutral, but no,
All he knows is cheese.
that's what's never mind.
Sir Daniel Boyle directed this movie. Again, teamed up with Alex Garland to bring us this infected zombie up, like where the UK is now separate.
Zombie was
it's-
super infected.
Yeah, there's you
that
get
alpha had a
eyes
growth
full
on
of
him.
you just, yeah. That wasn't no penis. That was a tumor hanging on an extra leg. Jesus, there's that's what you get in this movie. You get a lot of cock and
Yes.
running. Just
Yeah.
And running. A lot of running.
A lot of
I'm
swinging dicks.
I'm
A lot of swinging
surprised.
dicks.
Yeah,
Swinging
that-
dicks.
I'm surprised that the sound effects team didn't like make while people were running, because like they should have done that sound while people were running, especially for the one of the alphas. Jesus,
That was in the thumb. Doom, doom, doom.
it wasn't stomping. It was it's the massive wiener.
It's just dick dragging on the ground.
That was in the wind.
When the rage virus doesn't get you like that, it just makes it grow super big, like Tromeo and Juliet.
That thing has dialogue too. Go figure.
Stupid.
There's an inner monologue happening.
You know what though? You know that penis played by Peter Dinklage. It was Peter Dinklage.
That's Toxic Avenger.
Yeah. That's the real Toxic Avengers we're talking about. No, but 28 years later,
Stupid.
28 years later, or sorry, so yeah, 28 years later, which came out, comes out what, 23 years after the original?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Math ain't mathin', bro. Math ain't mathin'.
It's like
But-
2030 or something like that.
In the movie, I'm assuming it has
Yeah,
to be.
something like that.
You get a movie that kind of stars Aaron Taylor Johnson. It really is, for the majority of the movie, is Jodie Comer and Alfie Williams as the
Homer.
mother and son duo.
Homer.
Still on that alpha, dude.
Hey,
I
sorry,
know we're talking about big
Yeah.
dicks and all. And, she's a comer.
Jodie
She's
Comer.
a comer. She's a rag star.
And you get Ralph Fiennes.
It is Ralph.
That's Ralph.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
a normal guy named Ralph can stand his own name. Come on.
Ralph Fiennes.
But you get the sequel, which is vastly different than the other two movies that came before it. This is and I talked to you, Edgar, about it. This is a weird movie because
That's what I'm hearing.
not only the eye full of cock you get, but it's like not anything like the other two movies. It's another one of those movies where, hey, there's these people that are in this situation, but the movie's not about that situation.
No,
where-
they just kind of mention it that
Yeah, it's
they're
like this,
quarantined in this island.
yeah, it's like the infected are around, but it's not really the main focus of the movie. And that's like where the original, it's like you get Jim, and he's trying to figure his way through this whole thing, trying to get to like safe passage. The sequel about a scaredy cat dad and a possible cure, or somebody that they can't really be infected with the rage virus. This one is, for all of it, it's like Spike's way of becoming a man and finding his own way,
Okay.
where he's been sheltered. And yes, there's these infected people that now, mind you, are different, right? They had to evolve. Some became slower, and then you have others that have massive wieners.
And they can
Me.
procreate.
Yeah, and they bang.
This guy wants to get infected by the alpha.
Seriously,
Infect me.
that's an infection. I want that infection.
Yeah, make me more popular.
Yeah, it's like the evolution of this rage virus. It
see
has to
lips?
mutate. Where at the end of 28 days later, you kind of get told, "Hey, after 28 days, these guys start starving," right? But then 28 weeks later, they're still around.
Mhm.
So they're some little by little evolving. Now in this one, 28 years later, they've evolved. Hey,
They're eating
We're
the animals
runners.
in this one.
they're running, right?
Earthworms.
Some run, some are slow on the ground. You get the alphas, they have tribes. They procreate, which to me felt like a nod to Dead Alive or Brain Dead for other people. It felt something like that, right? Where now there's an infected having babies.
Mm.
It but this was a very weird movie because I don't know if I liked it.
It's because it kind of has two movies, like
Yep.
the beginning with Aaron Taylor and then the one with his mom.
So
Coma.
that felt closer to the originals, right? The Aaron
The
Taylor
mom part.
Johnson, but then the mom part,
Yeah.
I didn't like in the mom. I was watching the movie, the middle dragged. Number one, that whole trip with the mom and all that till you get to the doctor was dragged a lot.
It
Right.
does, but I think that kid did a good job. I don't remember
Oh,
his name. He did a good job, so
Spike.
I was invested in the story, so it didn't bother me. But I watched it with somebody, and they were like, "This is boring. I gotta go."
Show me some more dicks. the Alpha's wiener just like grabbed the guy's like, head and just ripped it off his body. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was another thing. I like the nods to Predator, right? Yeah, I just the middle dragged for me. I think I was expecting something different
Mhm.
than this was. This wasn't super like edge of your seat. Like, oh, I'm scared for them. Other than just the beginning part. Other than the beginning part of the movie where the father and son
And
are
what,
out
like
there.
10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, and then the very beginning, where you get introduced to, was it Jimmy?
Yeah.
The little kid Jimmy. That felt like, okay, this is, well, I mean, technically that's supposed to take place during the first
initial,
28
yeah.
days.
Mhm.
And then you're not, you figure out to the very end when Jimmy comes back. And then you find out, hey, this movie's going to be part of a trilogy.
Yes.
With the whole Harold and Kumar Extreme team. Right?
Yeah, it was so silly.
Out of that was out of left field. In the theater, I was watching it, and people were laughing out loud at that part.
Yeah.
And you get the same. You get what's his name? He's the villain in Sinners. He's playing the tracksuit mafia dude, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
the way he's dressed, and then you come to find out, hey, that's the same kid from the beginning of the movie.
Which annoyed the crap out of me because when I called you and told you about it, I was like, so you start off telling me about Jimmy. How the Jimmy character exists. I'm like, cool, it's gonna be about Jimmy. Nope, the movie has nothing to do with Jimmy except for the beginning part.
Yeah.
It's like he's the one who survived everyone getting murdered in that town.
Yeah, you get Jimmy at the beginning and you get Jimmy at the end, but the middle of the movie, I thought Jimmy was
But
Aaron
you get
Taylor
Jimmy
Johnson.
sprinkled. You get Jimmy sprinkled around because
on the
you see
walls,
his
stuff
name
like
on the
that.
wall. The guy that's hanging upside down, he's got Jimmy carved on his chest.
But then, so
And so
That-
having a Jimmy on the guy's chest is. I keep thinking about the Alpha now. What the hell? What's going on?
Fever
I did-
dream.
You notice how it was
I-
written a certain way where it actually was the same length?
Jesus, that's how I could feel your heart. Gross. No, but
It's
the
pulsating
thing
so
about
much.
there's certain things that I liked of what they kind of what they did with the story, like that the UK is quarantined. That's the only land. That's the only place where the infected are. Like it didn't spread worldwide. It just they stood there, and now people are watching to make sure no one leaves. No one can leave. They're cut off from the rest of the world. There's no cell phones. They're left to fend for themselves.
Yeah, that's weird
But yet-
because wasn't 28 weeks in France? In Paris?
I don't know. 28 Weeks was also in the UK.
Was it? Thought there was a mention of, I don't know.
There,
Are you gonna
I
make
know,
us have
I
to watch them?
know.
I don't watch it again. I swear. Steve.
No. So I know that they were in the outskirts of London at the beginning of the movie, where like in the
Mhm.
sequel, it's all still the UK. It was never.
Yeah.
It never kind of was said that this virus ever spread outside of the UK, right? And I like that the rest of the world kept living, but sorry, we closed the world off to the UK. You guys
Is
are
that
there
what-
left. There's nothing for you guys.
Is that why the English have teeth like that?
Yeah. There's no toothpaste.
They're all infected.
Yeah. There's no toothpaste. There really is no more doctors. There are
It's
no
all that-
dentists. There's nothing.
It's all that freckled dick.
Mm-hmm.
Spotted dick.
Yeah.
And it's all supplied by the Alpha.
And freckled dick exists with like gingers in the US too. Yeah, well, we spotted some dick in this movie.
Uh-huh. A lot. But yeah, this movie is now part of a new trilogy, which the first movie wasn't even a trilogy. It's just they're
I
starting
know.
a trilogy out of this story.
They don't want to
something
make this
that.
like, a couple,
yeah,
like 28 decades later.
it's still 28 years later, but now it's like it's continuation of this story. Where the other movies is like, hey, we had 28 days, 28 weeks, now 28 years, and I like the way this movie ends with. Well, I don't like the way it ends, but what they did with the story, it's like, hey, it kind of full circle. 28 years later, Spike leaves. Now, 28 days after he left, I like that they did that. But then you get that dumb flippy, like
Yeah.
acrobatic, like on people on
Parkour.
skateboards. They're
the
playing
Teletubby-
all this,
The
like
Teletubby
doing all that
Power
dumb
Rangers.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Was this movie horrible? No, but it suffers in the middle, in my opinion. It suffered in the middle, and it's also not as good. It's not as good as the originals.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the
Yep.
first one. It's not as good
Nothing's
later.
gonna be better than that.
No, because remember that movie introduced us to running zombies
And Killian
Yeah.
Murphy, right?
or running infected. But even in that movie, the beginning of the movie, you get Cillian Murphy like a whole frontal nudity on that one too, right?
Yeah.
I forgot.
You get
about
that, but it's
Bruce-
nothing like
Brucey-
that Alpha.
Proves he wasn't an alpha.
Yeah, for sure. This movie was okay. I didn't like it as much because it was very slow in the middle, and it was more told as an emotional story about a son and the mom. That's really all it was.
Apparently,
It's-
Dirk
let me-
Diggler was the alpha too.
You got a movie.
Now,
Greenlit.
they find out that she has cancer. Instead of letting the cancer right out, he just kills her. And
I
then
think that's what
boils
she
her.
wanted, though.
She wanted that. Like that was the whole thing. And-
Like,
and
it
also-
wasn't even a conversation though. It was like head nods. Okay,
It was
he
understood.
goes to sleep.
It was
He wakes up. There's a skull.
They
Put it-
drugged him.
Where do you think it needs to go? Yeah, on the top. Let's go top. But man,
Well, he did it so like she could always look at the sun. But yeah,
I get that.
it was. They told like a mother and son story, which number one, I didn't agree that Spike even took the mom out. I get that he's a kid and he doesn't know any better. He's like, I hear doctor. Let me take her to see if they can help her. Right. But he's also putting her at risk. But then he has to grow up and protect her all the way to that. And then realizes I'm not going to live in that village anymore. I'm going to go out for myself, which now leads us to this whole next chapter, which I'm assuming, hey, let me go save my son. Aaron Taylor Johnson's going to go save his son. And then that was another thing, because of the accents, I thought Aaron Taylor Johnson's Jamie was Jimmy at the beginning because of the accents. And that's what I thought the way the movie was going.
He tagged his
the
own
kid from
name
the
on the
movie.
walls.
Yeah, I was like, this is the there more than one person that could be called Jimmy. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I thought like, hey, they're telling the story. This kid grew up, he had a family, like, but no, like the swerve they did was a weird swerve. The story they told did not feel like this could have been its own movie, like the whole mother and son tale. You just are telling that within the context of this world of infected
Nah,
people.
it was too slow for it to be its own movie.
Well, 100%. It was very Like there's a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
It's a side quest, kind of like it could be like a short. It could have been a quick short, like released after the movie about the
Well,
character because you were introduced in this movie. You could have done that instead of putting it in the movie, extending it, and make it seem like, all right, fuck, I know she's dying. You fuck, just show it, let it happen.
No.
well, they did
Fucking
do a good
ruined.
job at building the
Alphas,
relationship
yes.
between the mother and the son, right? They did that, but yeah, it just didn't feel like 28 days or 28 weeks later. It didn't have that. It didn't even feel like a horror movie.
Now,
No.
I spoke to somebody and explained what happened in this movie, and they're wondering why were they all naked?
Because
Why is
it's
it when you get infected, all of a sudden you're naked?
It's the
because it's
primal
been
thing.
28 years. It's 28
And-
years. The clothes rots away or falls off or tears.
and they're also primal. They're all like, they don't know that. I'm not gonna go pick up clothes and put it on. They're like animals, right? They're like rabid animals.
But they're all specifically naked.
I'll ask you guys, if you guys saw 28 years later, do you guys like it? Are you guys gonna watch the shot back-to-back sequel, which is not directed by Danny Boyle, by the way? It's a completely different director. The Marvels
It's-
director, Nia DaCosta.
Yeah, the Marvels.
She's directing the sequel to this one, which is out in January. It's a shot back-to-back, and
So,
then Danny Boyle's supposed to
Ozzy-
direct.
Ozzy will love it because he loves the
Man.
Marvels.
I'm
But
pretty sure they're gonna
If
somehow
Brie-
prep her in Brie Larson somewhere in there.
Yeah, if she's in it, I'm down to watch. Down to watch.
Mhm.
She becomes an alpha. I don't know.
Swinging
she is
massive
an
dick.
alpha.
If you guys liked it, let us know in the comments below, or did you guys not like it? Don't forget to like and subscribe. And
Yeah,
on
see?
that note, this has been Vinny.
This is Ozzy.
And
We'll see you guys next time.
That dong though.